Coach, what can you say about this gutsy effort from your team?
Yeah, just that, a really gutsy performance. First half didn't go great. We played lights out on defense, but we struggled a little bit to get anything going offensively. We'd love to have some points there at the end of the first half, but we continued what we started that last drive of the first half, and couldn't be more proud of the way our guys rallied around our young quarterback, and couldn't be more proud of the way he played today. And that was critical for him. I think to come out and have success like this, everything's up from here on out for that young man. So super proud of the way Braxton played and composed himself, and the way our guys rallied around him. Thought we played complimentary football today. Thought Coach Barker put together a great plan. Our guys executed it. It's a high-octane offense, and we shut them down for the majority of the game. So just couldn't be more pleased, with the way we responded as a team after a tough loss. The way we prepared in the 2 weeks leading up to it. So good momentum going into the next one.
In a lot of ways, this is a program-defining win. You're in enemy territory. This is a team that's won 4 in a row. Things, like you said, did not go well, and you could have just been like, but you came out here in the second half very determined and took the game, totally took control of the game.
And one thing that we talked about is I felt like we had so much early success when we didn't have success in other games. I thought we flinched a little bit. We didn't respond the way we should, and I thought we did that today. Nobody pressed, nobody flinched. We kept playing, and good things happen when you do that, and that's what happened out here today.
So what do you think changed for Braxton and the offense in the second half? And you could just see the young man's confidence grow as he had success. And I thought Coach Cronick did a good job of kind of using some short passing concepts to have him have some success, mixing that with the run, and you could see his and the offense's confidence growing.
Yeah, I thought Coach Cronick did a great job of keeping him off balance. Even in the first half, we had some things going. We just had terrible field position. But ended it with a really good drive, but did a good job of mixing them. I thought Braxton settled in, right? And once he made a few plays, right, he gained a little confidence. And we had a bunch of guys make a lot of really nice plays out here today, so just couldn't be more pleased with their performance, the way we responded.
What did you feel like you all did defensively? I added up. They only had 187 total yards before they scored the late 2 touchdown drives at the end, late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So basically, you totally stymied them for 3.5 quarters. What did you do?
Well, outside of the first 2 drives, we did a really good job of stopping the run. We felt like if we could do that and keep things in front of us, right, then we'd have success on defense today, and I thought we were really good on third down. And then they couldn't get the run game going. They were in second 10, second 8 a whole bunch, and it's all easier to call a game for Coach Barker when that's the case. But I thought he called a really good one. I thought we had a really good plan. And I thought our kids went out and executed really well.
How big was it early when they had the ball in the red zone for you to hold them scoreless? They went for it on 4th down and could not convert. Then they tried to kick a field goal and missed it, but twice in the red zone. They have a chance to go up 14-0 early, and then they get nothing.
Yeah, it was critical, and we got lucky on one of them a little bit. Sometimes that happens, but it was good. They kept playing, and we were able to get off the field there in some adverse situations, and paid off.
It's kind of meaningless now, but I do have to ask you, talk about the decision to not start Blake, to hold him out.
Well, I just don't feel like he's 100% healthy, and I didn't want to put him in jeopardy of making it worse. And listen, Five's had 2 really good weeks of practice, and so has Jackson Gutierrez. We plan on playing him maybe a little bit more today, but Braxton got a hot hand, and so we let him roll.
Do you feel like Horvath would be ready for the Army game?
Sure, I do. Yeah.
So, last but not least, to me, this season, it's been up and down. This is a huge win. It sets you up great going into your last game, the biggest game. But you guaranteed 3rd place in the AAC. That's meaningful.
It is, and I don't pay attention to the preseason polls a whole lot. Don't mean a lot, but when you get picked 11th and you finish 3rd, that's a pretty good feeling. Now the goal is to win the thing, and we had a chance to do it this year and didn't get it done. But I'm proud of our guys, no doubt about it.
Eli, can you just talk about, this was a gutsy win. Offense didn't get a lot done in the first half. You're shut out, but you didn't flinch. You came out in the second half, scored 5 touchdowns. What can you say about the offense and the way they responded in the second half?
I was really proud with how we came out and kind of handled adversity. It's something we've been talking about a lot as a team, and we, haven't had a ton of adversity this year, especially on the offensive side. And I'm glad that we got some, especially for this big game coming up. But another thing too is just love the way that Five came out and Jackson Gutierrez came out too. Just it's a tough position playing backup quarterback. You got to be ready, and they came out and stepped right into those roles. So I was really proud of those 2 dudes today too.
So something Coach Cronick Cronick had said to me last week was, we need some other guys to help Braxton Woodson, and that's what you did in the second half. You know, he used the short passing game and guys made catches, and that gave confidence. There was some mixing some running concepts in, and guys broke runs. You had a long touchdown run. Chat had a long touchdown run. I mean, can you talk about what you all can do to help a backup quarterback?
Absolutely. I think it's just, you know, distributing the wealth a little bit. You know, we have a lot of guys that can make great plays on this team. I think you got Chat, Texa, obviously. Kent was making plays today too. I mean, Daba. There's just dudes that are, you know, all lightning in a bottle, you could say. So I think just, you know, kind of spreading it around a little bit makes it really hard on the defense to just, you know, stop, you know, one guy. So I think that really, you know, makes it easier on the quarterback as well.
Do you think this was a huge step forward for the offense? Because, you know, it had been some struggles. The Rice game, I mean, South Florida had 20 points, but there was also a lot of punts. Then, of course, what happened against Tulane. You came out in this second half and looked like the Navy team that in the first half.
Yeah, I think a big thing is, you know, especially in the second half, we started to play with a little bit of confidence, and I think that's good. You know, you have to find the right line. You don't want to be overly confident, but you, at the same time, you know, don't want to have no confidence. So just kind of finding that right level is big, and just, you know, getting in that flow where we're, you know, driving down the field, 8, 10, 12-play drives. It's big for our offense.
And last but not least, what can you say about a defense when you get shut out in the first half, but you're only down 3-0, and then they came out in the second half and did even more of it? What can you say about the defensive effort today?
Yeah, again, it's you know, making us confident. You know, we know that they have our backs. We go out there and you know we don't score in a half, but they're going to keep the game close, and that's all we can ask for. You know, love those guys over there. They play their butts off.
Braxton, talk about that second half performance. You get shut out in the first half. You regrouped at halftime, came out and scored 5 touchdowns, put the game away.
Yeah, it was really just us playing our game, you know. We practiced really hard the past 2 weeks. You know, we knew the game plan. We just had to go out there and execute. So
what was kind of said at halftime? What did Coach Cronick talk about? Because you moved the ball a little bit in the first half. You just couldn't finish. Especially, you know, that frustrating at the end of the first half where you come up with no points when you're on the goal line. Right. What did you talk about at halftime?
I mean, just being comfortable. You know, like we were saying, like you said, we were moving the ball. We were doing everything we had to do. We just had to execute, and we had to capitalize at the end.
So in the second half, what started working? It just seemed like Coach Cronick was doing a nice mixture of short passing concepts with some running inside and out. I mean, things started to flow, and I could see the confidence grow, both you and the offense as a whole.
Yeah, I think it was just Coach Cronick's play calling. You know, I mean, he was mixing it up, keeping those guys on their toes, and we were just executing like we have been, and then things just started working.
So do you feel personally you grew up a lot today with what you did in the second half?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And it's got to feel good when things start clicking and you can show your ability. I mean, you showed your passing and your running ability today in that second half.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, you know. You put in a lot of work into this sport, and just to see the fruits of your labor show on the field, it's amazing.
So I'm guessing that after the game, your teammates must have been mobbing you. I mean, how good does it feel to get that kind of support? You know, the backup quarterback, it's a tough role. You either, you know, people love him and then they hate him. Can you talk about what it was like in that locker room afterwards when I'm sure your teammates were praising you, giving you the love?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. You know, coming up into this game, a lot of people thought, and a lot of people knew I was going to be able to start. So, you know, they were just flooding me with confidence, you know, just telling me they got my back. And, you know, that's just the product of it.
Talking to Navy inside linebacker Kyle Jacob, what was the defensive game behind? Because, wow, did it work well?
I mean, we were just calling the same plays we've been calling all year. I think it's just the way we attacked this week in practice and the way we prepared for this game was just on another level. We knew that, you know, the offense was going to have a new quarterback in play, and I think one thing Coach talked about was rallying around whoever was playing on offense, and I think we did that today. We just flew around and played hard. So
you were able to make, Coach Newberry was just saying, you were able to make them kind of one-dimensional, and you stopped the run, and they weren't able to hit some deep shots downfield. It just seemed like the defensive game plan worked to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Volker put a great plan together, and I think we just executed at a high level today. And like he said, just making them one-dimensional just makes it easier for Coach to call the plays and just makes it easier for us to know what the offense is going to run. So that was definitely a big part of today. So,
what about you rose up, and I think they tried multiple fourth down attempts and did not convert. How big was it in those critical situations, like on the goal line early in the game when they came away with nothing, or in the red zone when they had to settle for a field goal and missed it? I mean, you guys rose up in key situations.
Those are huge momentum plays. I mean, when you get in a situation like that, you got to bow up, and it's either they want it or we want it. And today we wanted it more than them. And I think just everyone, the D line played an amazing game. Like everyone, the safeties coming down, the corners coming down, playing against the run. Like I think everyone just played an outstanding game, and we played really physical and hard today. So those turnover on downs are huge part of the game for momentum.
Can you talk about what this game means for the program? I mean, if you don't win this, you will have lost 4 or 5 going into Army. And now things look completely different. You're coming off a very uplifting win going into your most important game of the year. You got 8 wins. Can you just talk about how huge this game was?
Yeah, it was definitely a big game. Our goal was to win out the rest of the season. But now that this game's over, like we have our eye on one goal, and that's just to beat Army. Like the next 2 weeks is going to be, breathe, sleep, eat Army. Like everything's going to be around them. This is a great feeling, but we're going to celebrate it for 24 hours, and then we're going to move on to Army, and we're going to get ready and be prepared for them. So that's the biggest goal.
Ray, how big is this victory?
I mean, it's really just awesome to come out here, really get things rolling. It's a good feeling, have a feeling that all of our phases are flowing and stuff like that. So being able to celebrate this and then obviously push it to the side and get ready for the big one.
So that's a team that had surpassed 500 yards of total offense in each of its previous 4 games. Prior to the 2 late touchdown drives, you had held them to 187 yards. You really stymied them. What can you say about the defensive game plan put together by Coach Volker and how you all executed?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game plan was great. Coming in here, we just knew like we couldn't flinch. Just doing the things that we practiced and then translating it over into the game. We knew. We were confident that whatever they had been doing, we were going to put a stop to, and that's just the mentality we carried over into the game.
So do you think there was anything crucial to the defensive game plan? Was it, controlling the run? I know they got some big runs early, but you've really controlled Raji Harris there down the stretch. Can you talk about what did you feel was critical to stopping East Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main thing for us was stopping the run. But pretty much outside of that, just doing what we know how to do and executing and not making it about ECU or whatever team we might play in the future, but just about us and executing how we need to.
So can you talk about now that you for the next 2 weeks, the focus is on Army. Can you talk about how huge this game is coming up on December 14th?
I mean, yeah, we've been waiting for this one a long time. I mean, in the hall, in the weight room, in our facility, everywhere, it's beat Army. Everybody knows that, so I mean, it's the biggest one we have. So just going out there with that killer mentality and preparing like we need to go get that win and bring the CIC home.
And if you can beat Army and capture the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, as you just mentioned, and then win a bowl game, you get to 10 wins, which would be a heck of an accomplishment. Only 5 other Navy football teams have done that.
Yes, sir. I mean, just to be able to have that on our plate, we're going to take it one at a time, but it's a good feeling, and then just knowing that you're trying to turn the page for the program and stuff like that, so it's great.